Hello, welcome to Alchemy Animation. It is the second part of a series called My Messy Marriage. Let's begin. Hong came to know that the bride's name is Soran. He was confused because her girlfriend's best friend's name is also Soran. He asked if she's the same Soran. Kang replied she works at the same law firm where Yunhee works. So you are probably right. Hong said I never heard anything about this from her though. Does Yunhee not know? Kang said I guess so. Hong asked this. Is so certain is this a shotgun wedding? Kang replied this is not my field of specialty. He glanced at Rin. She was thinking what do you want, why are you staring at me? Hong asked did not you go to Tae-suk's firm a few days ago? To inquire about something from Yunhee's company. So that's when you met her? An attorney and a client, how does that lead to dating? Kang was thinking that it is so noisy it's annoying. Rin replied we all went to the same university. Attorney Soran was there as well. Since they knew each other from before, they must have gotten close quickly. Kang was thinking are you helping me out because you dug this grave? At least you are self-aware that you cause trouble everywhere you go. He was thinking but never mind, just this once thanks to you. I will be marrying Soran. I will have to think of her as Nim for now. Hong said but this is not it. Should not you be inviting me while serving me beef? And saying please do come to my wedding. In an angry mood Kang said I have asked you to come and have pasta with me. But you said you brought a lunchbox. Since you were busy. But you must be having a lot of time to eat beef, huh? Kang looked towards Rin and remember when Rin said I am pregnant. However after a minute Kang said we will have pasta for dinner. Hong started to compete for beef. But Kang again said pasta. And said get out and go to your work. Rin thought that was unnecessary. And then Kang's phone was started to ring. It was Soran's call. He made a happy expression. He picked the call and asked what happened. Soran said I'm sorry for calling when you are busy sir. She said I got a call from the company. They said that they spilled coffee on the wedding invitations that were supposed to be sent to me. And now they can't send it anymore. Did you get the wedding invitations sir? Kang said yes. In the mind he was thinking Soran you sound pretty. So much pretty. Soran said I was supposed to meet up with my colleagues over dinner and give them the invitation. If I send someone over for the invitations, would you be able to give me? She was thinking that I should not bother him. What if he gets angry? Kang said I will be there what time? She said no you don't have to travel yourself and come all the way here. He again asked what time? She said I don't have work outside of the firm so anytime. He said in 20 minutes first floor cafe. She said what? You are coming all the way here in 20 minutes? In a fast speed he wore his coat and rushed towards his car. Both Hong and Rin were watching him. Hong asked have you ever seen him act like that before? She said no by shaking her face. He said I think I saw a sloth snatching an eagle. He was rushing towards her, and in the mind he was thinking, I get to see Soran, I get to see Soran. He can't even wait for the elevator. So he was going towards there. She was waiting in the cafeteria and thinking, why does he want to come in person? Does he want to talk about something? She is a bit nervous, and then someone came and said oh my look who it is that Soran? Soran said hello. She was thinking why now out of old times? The lady put her bag on the table and said can I have a seat? Soran said you have already made yourself comfortable. She was glaring at Soran. And with a smirky face she said our Soran is still the same. That's a good thing. You know people need to remain consistent. Soran said I am expecting a guest to be coming soon. I can't talk right now. The lady said I heard that you told Jin saying that you were going to file a restraining order against him. Soran was thinking did she deliberately come here to talk about that? The lady said my Jin Sang is a child who can't even kill a bug. Did he hit you swear at you? The poor child who can't even forget you. You should not do something like that to someone you once cared about, don't you think? Soran said it's because I once cared about him that I am doing this. What he's doing is stalking. That's a punishable offense. The lady was angry and she asked when are you going to repay Jin Sang's money back? Soran said it's been paid back on the usual date with a fixed amount. The lady said with that small amount of money, when will you even be done paying us back? I heard you and your brother still live in a rented villa. With a pity face she said you really are pitiful. The only thing your brother has ever done is setting that shop on fire. and only being able to pay for the damages. And all your father ever did was make you lose all the money on hospital bills. In anger, Soran said, "You are going too far." The lady said, "Why are you glaring at me like that when all I'm saying is the truth? You think I will get scared to talk? You are too much, really." She really made Soran angry. She continued saying, "That's why I'm saying, Soran, stop being stubborn. And hurry up and marry Ginseng." With sweaty face, Soran was looking at her. The lady was thinking, "If you marry my son, then only I will be able to twist and squeeze you dry out of your skin, and then discard you into the gutter, you rude bitch." But then suddenly Kang interfered in their conversation and said, "That should be a bit difficult." The lady looked at him, and "Is that Kang the CEO? What are you doing here?" He put the envelope on the table. The lady asked, "What is this?" She read that wedding invitation card. The lady asked, "What is this? Why are you in Soran?" With a serious look he said, "It's as you can see." He stood behind Soran and put his hand on her shoulder. He said, "She is going to be my wife. As for the well wishes, there is no need for that." The lady was shocked after hear his words and stood up from chair. The lady asked, "Are you being serious right now? What is the meaning of this?" Kang said, "Do you not know how to read, or do you not know what wife means?" Soran was thinking, "I want to ask what is the meaning of this as well. How does he know Ginseng's mother?" After a thought she remembered that both of them have same last name. The lady asked, "Did not she tell you that she dated your cousin for 9 years? After hearing this, Soran came to the conclusion that both of them were related. Kang said, "We are second cousin, not first. Grandpa and his brother, my father and his cousin, so Ginseng and I are second cousin." For how long Soran has dated someone? Does it really matter even if she had a husband before? The lady said, "I'm speechless, Soran. How could you throw away my Ginseng and to a relative nonetheless?" Soran said, "Ginseng cheated on me several times while we were dating, and I did not even know that Seo Kang and him were related." With a scary look, Kang said, "Aunt, you need to be polite to my wife." After hearing this, in a fear, the lady shut her mouth. She was about to say something but did not say. She made a fake smiley face. She said, "Of course we should be polite to each other. Your aunt was just a little shocked, but can you really blame me? First she was getting our Ginseng and now you?" However, Kang said, "Take care, aunt." He grabbed Soran's hand and said, "Let's go." The lady said, "Kang, I'm really sorry, alright." With the blushy face, Soran grabbed his hand, and both of them leave the cafe. The lady was thinking, Kang is a rude bitch. He is acting all arrogant because of his grandfather's backing. But you will regret being born as the grandson of Chairman Baek Kang. Both Kang and Soran were in the lift. She was thinking that how long are we going to hold hands like this? And he has a strong grip. She was thinking leaving the hand, but she did not think she should have to use that much strength to get her hand free. It seemed rude. Kang asked, "Was that one of your reasons for this marriage?" She replied, "Yes, exactly. Money is money, but what I needed was the married status." Both of them are looking at each other. She said, "That doesn't mean I was thinking of using you. I will do my best to play the role that you need. I will meet your expectation and I would not do anything to violate the terms of our contract." He said, "Use me. I don't mind being used." He squeezed her hand more tightly and said, "Then what's the use of me being your husband?" After hearing this, her heartbeat increases rapidly. The lift door was opened and someone greeted them and said, "Hey Soran and Boring Kang, did you guys come here for some business?" That person is the CEO of Soran's law firm, Matesuk. Sunbae asked, "How is she doing? Our Soran is good at her job, right?" Kang replied, "Yes, she's very competent." Sunbae said, "Since it was Kang who asked us for help, we could not just assign anyone to it. So don't forget to thank me later." He said, "I have some work to attend to in the courtroom, so I will be heading out. Make sure to wrap up." Soran said, "Yes, Sunbae, goodbye." When he was about to leave, he noticed something and said, "Wait a minute, you guys." He noticed that both of them were holding each other's hands. He asked, "Do attorneys and clients walk around holding hands these days? It is some kind of trend that I have not been made aware of." Soran was about to say something, but in the meantime, Kang gave him the invitation card and said, "We are getting married." Sunbae opened the card and read it. After that he laughed and said, "I was almost fooled. You put so much effort in this one. What kind of April Fool's joke is this? That was a good one. Kang said it's autumn not April, so we are not joking. Sunbae checked the calendar and looked at both of them. With a sweeted face he said, you are being serious. Kang pulled her towards him and said yes. After some time at the meeting room, Soran was thanking Kang for coming here. She was saying, I'm sorry for taking up so much of your time. Did you come in person because there was something you wanted to add to the contract? Should I make the contract? Kang was thinking just as I thought. That's all that our relationship means to you. The way my chest felt like it was going to burst when we were on the elevator. How much I did not want to let your hand go. You don't know any of it, but it's okay, you don't need to know any of it. However, you will definitely know someday, after all this time that I have endured just a little longer. After some time the lady was sitting in the car, she's talking to Jin Sang. Jin Sang asked, how did it go, Mom? What did Soran say? Did she say she will date me again? The lady replied, my Jin Sang, you waited for a long time, didn't you? He said, it's nothing, but tell me, what did Soran said? She replied, my son, don't panic and listen. Soran is getting married. After hearing this, Jin Sang laughed and said, Mom, you are the best. You are right, it's only fair that Soran and I get married. The lady said, that's not what I mean, my son. He asked, but you said she should marry me. She said, I will explain it to you carefully when I get home. See you soon, my child. And that she threw her phone. She was thinking that my soft-hearted Jin Sang, this will be a total shock for him. Woo Soran, you cunning bitch? She was thinking that Kang and his grandfather, they are the ones stealing everything from me. The company that my father-in-law would have inherited was taken by Kang's grandfather. Just because he's the eldest son, my husband barely managed to get a snot-size affiliate, and all of Baek Myung's money is going to go to Baek Kang. She was thinking, let's see who wins. I'm going to get back all the money that's mine. At the meeting room, Kang said, are the walls soundproof? She said, yes, of course, as long as you don't make a lot of noise. He asked, when did you break up with Jin Sang? She replied, around the same time last year. He said, when I saw you together with him at that Korean restaurant. Was that after you broke up? She said, you saw that how? He replied, it was on the way when I was going to meet my grandfather. She replied, I was dining out with my client. But somehow he followed me and made a huge scene about me seeing another man. My client was so startled that he jumped out of his seat. It was awful day. He said, I see, so that's what happened. He was thinking that she must have had a hard time alone during the whole month of the marriage proceedings at all. I don't even know that. Soran said, since I dated Jin Sang, I will probably be difficult for you. He asked why. She said, others may misunderstand. I'm worried about what your grandfather would think. He said, you don't need to worry about it. If there are any disruption to our contract, I will not tolerate it. She was thinking that it's definitely something to be worried about. But it's like he's assuring me to trust his word. She said, I will faithfully follow our contract. And now that I think about it, there was something I was wondering about. But now I understand that. Kang was confused about what she's talking about. She said, you knew about me because I was Jin Sang's girlfriend. I was curious as to how you knew me. In her mind, she was thinking truthfully, I was kind of hoping that he would remember our little encounter from the past. She said, you may not remember this, but before I joined the university at the campus, and suddenly he said on the bridge, your uniform and your glasses. From that time until now, every time we bumped into each other, I always knew it was you. After hearing this, she lost in her thoughts. She was remembering her old memories. It was during winter when I was in my 3rd year in high school, and he remembered that. At that time she was thinking, if I get in, all my dreams would come true. I really want to get into that prestigious law school. But then suddenly a ball came towards her. In that heated movement she tried to move away from the ball and she slipped. Someone saved her from falling, and the books of that person are all on the ground. She was thinking that was close. She noticed that the person who saved her from falling is Kang. All of the other people around them were saying Kang is helping others. Maybe he is not as bad as the rumors say. She looked at him and wondering, how can someone be this handsome? But then she came into her mind. She said, I'm sorry, are you hurt anywhere? Your legs, please move your leg a bit for me. You are not hurt, right? He said I should be the one asking you if you are okay and you should be thanking me instead. She bowed her head and said I'm sorry. No thank you so much. I will help you pick those up. He rapidly picked up the books from ground. She was thinking he has such an overbearing aura. I feel sorry for the person who will end up becoming his wife. But he does not seem like a kind person. Then why can't I take my eyes off him? She looked back on the ground and found that his scarf is on the ground. She said, wait a minute, you dropped this too? He said, that is not mine. She swinged the scarf and put it on his shoulder. With a smile she said, I caught you. But after seeing his face she said, I did not catch you. Instead the scarf got caught. Wow. She bowed her head again and said, then excuse me and thank you once again. Soran was thinking I was able to catch Kang's name because of the people around us were whispering his name. I had never been interested in a guy before, so I just thought of him as a guy who had left a strong impression on me. Then I found myself thinking, will I be able to see him again if I get accepted to this school? And without even understanding myself or why, I began to look forward to it. She looked back at him and thinking, he's so dreamy, I wonder what his type is. I heard he's from a pretty rich family. Not just pretty rich, he was like a celebrity. Everyone talked about him and wanted to know more about him. But no one ever tried to get close to him, that is what I thought. He turned towards her and saw her once more time. At the current time he is saying, ever since that day, every time I saw you I knew you were that girl from then. With a blushy face she asked, every time since then? He replied, yes, even before you started dating Jin Song. Her heartbeat increases rapidly. He stood up and said, there is something I have been meaning to check, but I have not been able to until now. He came close toward her and sit on the table. He held her hand and grabbed her towards him. With a blushy face she was looking at him. He said, touch my button on my shirt. She was thinking his button, but why? She started to unbuttoning him. He gave a strange reaction and after that he said, now button it back up. Soran was confused. The CEO of a company in which Soran works was sitting in a car. He was thinking Soran and Kang are getting married. How did Soran find the time to date? He was remembering when he asked Soran if Kang is treating you okay? You should think he should be friendly since you went to the same school at that time. She replied, he is just another client. My focus is on getting the job done also. Mr. Kang does not even know me. Sunbae was thinking they only met a month ago but they dated. And they are already getting married too. How does this make any sense? He touched her chest and thinking, why does my chest keep feeling so heavy though? And I keep sighing too due to its pressure. With a smile he remembered, I know all of this is because I am the king of curiosity. And the king needs answer. So he came back to the office and knocked the door. He said, Soran, can I come? Soran said yes. Sunbae entered into the room and said, no matter how much I think about it, I don't get how? But then he was shocked after seeing that Soran and Kang were standing close to each other. Soran looked at Sunbae and he suddenly closed the door. However, after a moment he again opened the door and entered into the room. Soran said, it's not what you think, Sunbae. I was just trying to do something. He said, it's okay, really, I believe you. That's not the important thing right now anyway. He asked, just when did you two happen? I honestly don't get it. I mean, you have only known each other for a month. Kang put his hand on Soran's waist and pulled her towards him. He said it was a very passionate month. Like 10 years were packed into it, right, Soran? Soran said yes, since 10 multiply 12 is equals to 120. So 120 compressed to 1. After hearing this, Sunbae was confused. Kang asked, do you need me to elaborate? Sunbae said, no, I got it. Well, I'm gonna get going. And then he closed the door. Soran was feeling a bit awkward. But then again Sunbae opened the door and said, remember, we are at work. Let's keep things professional, okay? After saying this he gave a smile and left the room. Soran was thinking Mr. Kang is really getting into his role. It's hard to keep up with him. Her beat was increasing rapidly. Kang said, Miss Wu, shall we continue? She looked at him. By grabbing his shirt he said, button me up. With a blushy face she is coming towards him to open his button. She started to unbuttoning him. She was totally lost in her thoughts. Kang said, I asked you to button me up, not unbutton me. She came back to her mind. She said, I'm so sorry, Mr. Kang. I got distracted by Sunbae and forgot what you asked me to do. She was thinking he was totally staring at me like I dare you to unbutton me. When she was buttoning his shirt, he was feeling a bit freezing. She looked at him and thinking. I could tell he looked a bit uncomfortable. But now he's shaking. After buttoning all of the buttons she said, all done, Mr. Kang. He said like I thought, not bad. And then he opened his top button. She asked, what is it that you want to check? He said, I just did. I wanted to see if I had just imagined it. He said it took me 10 years to get my answer. She was looking at him and thinking, did he just smile? I have never seen him with smile before. She said, I'm not quite sure what you mean. Did you want to check if I could unbutton a shirt? Are you marrying me because I am good at buttoning shirts? He said yes and no. I will ask for your help if I ever need to wear a tie. She was thinking that I have no clue what he's talking about. He needs someone who can help him put on a tie and button his shirt, and that's me. But can't anyone do that? I'm a little confused, but I think I learned some pretty important information today, Mr. Kang. He remembers our first encounter. He knew who I was this whole time and waited 10 years for me to button his shirt. And finally that perhaps this marriage is more than just a simple contract between two people. At the night that Jin Sang mother told Jin Sang that Soran is marrying Kang, Jin Sang asked what Kang and Soran are getting married? She said yes. I was just as stunned to hear the news. With the angry look she said, think of everything we did for her. This is a huge slap in the face. How could she do this to you? Jin Sang was making a crying face. She said, I can't see her in a positive light anymore, after the pain she's caused you. It's no use being nice to a girl like that. What an ungrateful brat. She hugged him and said, my sweet boy, don't let that girl make you feel hurt, okay? He pushed her away and said, get out, I want to be alone. She said, my baby, if you get hungry let me know. She left the room and someone said, why do you still call him baby? He's a grown man. It's so gross. The person is Jin Sang's sister. The lady said, Jin Hai, don't talk about your brother like that. Go to your room and study. The girl said, it's you who needs to study, mom. You need to learn how to raise your son to be a respectable human being. With anger the lady said, what about you? You think a respectable human being would talk back to their mother? So go to your room now. The girl stood up and said, yes mother, I will go. The lady was thinking, I can't stand the sight of Kang and Soran. But now they are together. She gave a smile. After some time Kang was taking a bath in his home. He was thinking when Soran said, are you marrying because I am good at buttoning shirts? He was thinking, I wondered if you know how special you are to me. He remembered old time when he was kidnapped by a person. At that time the kidnapper said, hang in there, you will be at peace soon. Stay still, and this is not my fault. There was a fire all over around him. Kang was crying and his mouth was totally covered by a cloth. He was thinking at that time he was almost choked to death. He would have died if a random passerby had not called an ambulance. The kidnapper was a man who had decided to commit suicide because he was unhappy with his life. He confessed that he wanted someone to be there with him when he drew his last breath. The doctor said, it's a condition called tactile defensiveness, which is a form of post-traumatic stress disorder. In Kang's case, he can't tolerate the feeling of something touching his neck area. Because he had a near-death experience, it might even trigger a fear response for years. Kang still feel like the young boy who was trapped in an abandoned building being choked by my kidnapper. I was stuck in my past, but then a strange light come towards him. He was thinking, every time I think like that, until she opened the door for me. When she gave me a scarf and put it on my neck, and there is no such suffocation happened. On the next day Soran was sitting with her friend. Her friend asked, so Jin Sang finally stopped contacting you. Is that leech gone for good? Soran said, I don't know, he will leave me alone for days, then suddenly show up again. Her friend said, I doubt he will keep that up. He knows you and Kang are getting married now. She asked, but how could you keep your relationship a total secret from me? I'm honestly pretty hurt. Soran apologized to her. While looking at the dish she was thinking, that looks so good. Her friend said, I mean, this is Kang we are talking about. He's Changyu Appa's friend and business partner. You should have told me. Soran again apologized to her. She was feeling very happy and thinking, I'm going to be wearing a wedding dress soon. So is it okay if I eat this? Her friend said anyway. That was a total surprise. My boyfriend and I never suspected anything. Soran said I did not expect this either. She again thinking while looking at the dish. Just a little, I mean one strand of noodles should be okay, right? Her friend asked how are things between you two? Kang is he actually a sweet guy underneath with that cold exterior? Soran said yeah, he's really kind and considerate. He has a great body too. With a naughty face her friend asked is he good in bed? Soran said yeah, he's really good. Kang's friend were standing behind Soran. She came to know about their presence when her best friend said hello to them. She looked back towards them and started to think, wait a minute, what did I just say? I said he had a great body. And then my friend asked if he was good in bed and I said yes, that he is really good. She wondered if they probably did not hear that. Rin was looking at Soran. Soran covered her face because of shyness, and thinking that I think they heard all of it. After that both of them sit there with them. Yonghui asked how have you been, Rin? Rin said I was wondering why Hong dragged me here. Was it to see Yonghui? Hong replied of course she was in the neighborhood, so I had to come see her. Rin said you could have just come here alone. Hong said what, overruled? I can do whatever I want. In the thoughts Soran was thinking I want to scream. With a smile Hong said anyway Soran, you said Kang was really good at something. What is it? With the exhausted face Soran spit all of the juice out of her mouth on Yonghui. She apologized to her. Yonghui asked Hong, is my mascara running? Hong replied no, it's perfect. You are even good at putting on makeup. There is nothing you can't do, babe. And then suddenly someone said what am I good at? It was none other than Kang. After hearing his voice she turned back and said hello Mr. Baek, I mean Kang. She was thinking it's a crap. Talk about a bad timing. She feels like he's gonna get mad at me for talking about him. So what do I do now? Kang said Rin, move over. She asked why. He said you are in my seat. Rin asked did you reserve it? He again said you're going to move over. While all of this time Soran was thinking what should she reply to this question. After some time she said singing. He's a really good singer. I think he has great vocal cords because he's got such a strong body. After hearing this Kang made a serious look, and Hong and Rin were also looking at him and thinking what does he sing? Hong said what does he sing, dark music? Soran looked at Kang and gave a smile. Seeing her smile Kang's heartbeat increases and he said it's true. I'm a pretty good singer. Hong asked have you ever heard him sing? Rin said no, not once in that 20 years I have known him. Soran was thinking the misunderstanding has been cleared up. She tried her best to put a positive spin on it. Rin was looking at food and thinking, I don't really feel like eating. Hong said hey man, I feel like you are not eating anything. I mean our company is thriving thanks to you being a picky eater, but I feel like it's gotten worse. Kang said Hyung's radish water kimchi should be nicely fermented right about now. Soran said yes, the flavor is just perfect right now. Kang asked when should I go pick it up today? Hong asked who is this Hyung you are talking about? Soran said he's my older brother. Yonghui said Soran's brother is an incredible cook. He's got tons of regular customers. Rin said how good can it be? With a serious look Kang said do not insult his radish water kimchi. Rin looked at him and asked why is this so important to you? She was thinking about the radish water kimchi. She touched her tummy and lost in her thoughts. She was thinking that he made the best radish water kimchi I had ever eaten in my life. But I guess I will never be able to enjoy his cooking again. And then suddenly Rin was feeling an uneasiness. She stood up from the sofa. Hong said I told you to go easy on the alcohol. I thought she quit drinking, but there she goes again. Both Kang and Soran were looking at her. In the washroom Rin was puking. With a crying face she was thinking it's okay, you can handle this. You should not burden him, and you should not miss him. And then someone knocked on the door. It was Soran. She said, Miss Rin, are you alright? Do you need some help? After a while she reopened the door and said you did not have to come check on me. Soran asked, are you feeling better? Rin pronounced Soran's name wrongly. Soran corrected her. Rin said, I'm not really a fan of people meddling in my life. Thank you for your concern, but please don't worry about me. Soran said, okay, if that's what you wish. She was thinking that I didn't expect her to thank me. Soran remembered her conversation with Kang. In the car, Kang was saying that Rin and we have known each other for a long time because our grandfathers are close. Her grandfather is the owner of Grand Hotel, our wedding venue. Soran said, then the two of you must be old friends. Kang said, I'm not sure if we are friends, but yes, we go way back. And as for Hong, I met him in college. He said Rin's parents practically neglected her with the excuse that they were always busy. I kind of understand why some people might think she's irritable, but she's not a bad person. When Soran said something and Rin turned back and asked, what is it? Soran said, since we are going to be seeing a lot of each other now, I hope that we can be good friends, so please just treat me like you would Yeonwi. Rin said, you are very outgoing, but sure, whatever you want. Soran thanked her and noticed that she is wearing a high heels. She was thinking that Rin should not be wearing high heels. I should get her some flats next time, although Rin tried to put on a strong face just now. But I could tell that there is a soft side to her. I wonder who the father of her child is. Why did she decide to have the baby on her own? If you cut her out of his life, then he must be one cold-hearted man. At the evening at the Soran house, with a bright smile, Soran brother said, here is your radish water kimchi. I also packed some soya sauce, braised beef and stir-fried seaweed stems. Kang held the food container and said, your stir-fried seaweed stems are so soft, Hyung, and they don't have a fishy taste. Do you have a special secret? Hyung said, not really, you just have to make sure to get the timing right. Kang said that timing is very hard, I find. Hyung said, yes, there are a lot of variables at play, like the thickness of the stands or the quality of the soy sauce. Soran was looking at them and thinking. Everything about this seems so random, from their visuals to the topic of their conversation, and the food containers that they are holding. What a totally weird combination. Kang thanked him and said, I have something for you too. He opened the back of his car and took out some rice bag. He said it's an organic rice brand that we have an exclusive partnership with. They harvest high-quality rice with a rich flavor and a nutty aroma. While watching him, Soran lost in her thoughts. With a blushy face, she was thinking, why do I find that so attractive? All of this happened because Soran has a soft spot for organic food. He put the bag on his shoulder, and taking to the place. Soran was thinking, he looked serious but excited when he was talking about food with my brother. I guess he's really passionate about his work. Soran asked, do you need a hand, Mr. Kang? He looked back at her and said no. He said, I'm great at carrying heavy things, just like I'm great at singing. And I am great at many other things too. I will show you one by one all the things I can do. And then he gave a smile. After seeing him, she again lost in his attractiveness. That's all for today's video. If you want to know what happened next, then like and subscribe. Alchemy Animation YouTube channel.